Ilm also has adl, which is justice. It also has azam, which is compassion. These are not my concepts. These are Quranic concepts. If you have to have the notion of a society, do not abandon this. And I want to quote Qaid azam. And you will say, Qaid azam, you're quoting the periphery. Yes, the British had this chain of forts all along the tribal areas. In all the important Waziristan, Quran, Qaid, because they controlled the tribal areas. When Pakistan was created, Qaid azam had no resources. I made a film, as you know, I made books on Qaid azam, I've written on that whole area. There were no resources. It's a miracle how Pakistan survived. It's easy to look back and say, getting it, holding it, but it was a miracle that Pakistan survived. And it was the dedication of those early Pakistanis. Qaid azam came up with a brilliant masterstroke, which the tribes understood. He called a jirga of all the elders, and he said, for centuries, the British have imposed their forts and their troops to guard over you, as if we are foreigners. This is your land. You will protect this land. You will be the guardians of this land. And his senior officers advised him, and again, I don't want to overplay this, but please remember those senior officers are still there in position. And 90% of them come from the major province. We salute the province, it's a great province, it's the backbone of Pakistan. But those officers in the periphery very often behave with arrogance, very often they behave as though they're the masters, and there's always a tension. And Qaid azam said, no, these are my people, and I'm going to trust them. And that overnight, he removed all the Pakistan Army units, and overnight, the entire paradigm of the tribal areas changed. So keep this in mind. This is a brilliant masterstroke by Qaid azam, who was not an expert on the periphery. I want to point out that immediately after this, I've spent the last couple of years studying exactly a similar paradigm. The center was periphery. The periphery very often has resources, mineral resources. The center very often wants access to them, and once it has access, it's not going to share to the periphery. And you see a very pathetic situation in the periphery: neglect, poverty, and a sense of frustration. You cannot have partners without dignity and without honor, without behaving like a part of one family. This is true of families, and it is true of nations. So I studied 40 case studies from Morocco right through North Africa, into the Middle East, into Central Asia, all tribal Muslim societies. And I studied the history, the culture, the political leadership, and their codes of honor, how they behave. Because honor and dignity are very important to these Muslim tribal people. They're very important in Punjab and Sindh, but in the tribal areas and the periphery, they matter of life and death. You know, there's a very famous Pashto saying. My nephew Guzar is sitting here, he confirmed it, that I took revenge after 100 years, and I took it too soon. The notion of revenge. If you dishonor someone, revenge will return. So I urge you to think of democracy, which is great, we're having a very interesting and animated discussion, but also think of the factors that make democracy what it is. Don't remove the dimensions around it, and the dimension of education, of culture, and understanding the people who form the polity of Pakistan. You cannot have democracy when you remove the periphery. That's half of Pakistan. You behave like your conquerors and rulers of that part of Pakistan. I'll end with a concept with Professor Shami, appreciate the after all on campus. The concept